One of the most important conversations that I had with Alex actually happened after we stopped recording. Because during the interview, I interpreted one of Alex's dreams that was partially right, but I could feel that it just didn't fully land. Alex told me about a reoccurring dream that he had, and this one in particular was about a skateboard. And in just a minute, I'm going to cut in the video from the conversation that we had so he can tell you about his dreams in his own words. But first, I want to talk to those that are new here. My name is Nicole, and I am a firm believer that your dreams are decoding your future. I am passionate about helping people learn how to break down the codes, the symbols in their dreams that they're having at night so they too can begin to break down what their nightlife is trying to tell them about their future. So if you enjoy this conversation, please hit the like button and subscribe so that the algorithms know that people like you like content like this, and it'll tell you when new videos come out. I'm going to pop up a clip of Alex giving his dream, and then I'm going to come back and kind of tell you briefly how I broke it down in the interview itself.
It was a skateboard-based dream, and I was on a skateboard. Like, you know how they go down the rails? You skateboarders go down the rails.
Yes.
And it was falling. Oh, how weird! I remembered that. And I remember, and I fell off. I was on the skateboard, fell off the rail, and then woke up. And I remember that one. That is really weird. I remember that. And I'm not. I don't do skateboard. Never have done skateboard. I am not a skateboarder. Okay. It was just that it was a stairwell. That's all I can remember. Stairwell. Maybe I just had a little flashback, but I don't know whether to trust my memory or not. I think the skateboard was yellow. Does that matter?
Yeah. Okay. I initially focused on the skateboard itself, and that it can have many meanings, but where I knew the meaning came in for Alex himself, because he and I had already talked a lot prior to this interview, was that it meant the actual gifts that he was walking in. If you think about a skateboard in the context of his dream, someone that is riding the rails, someone that is doing tricks per se with a skateboard, which is what he described, means it takes hard work, it takes practice, it takes a lot of dedication. He was not lazily skateboarding down a sidewalk. He was actually doing tricks. That told me we're talking about the gifts that he's working on, and that's still accurate. However, when we started to look at the falling down the stairs process, remember that stairs going up can sometimes mean, an emotional lift. Stairs going down can be an emotional fall. And for him, we began to look at, could that be like a fear that was coming in, or could it be something else that was tripping him up? I could tell in the actual interview, and I'm gonna put it in the comment, or I'm gonna put it in the description so you guys can watch the full interview, and you'll see where I don't feel like it landed. And this is what I want to highlight today: the importance of continuing to go back to a dream until you feel that sense inside, that aha moment, like, yes, this resonates. Now, it wasn't that I got the interpretation initially completely wrong. It simply wasn't complete. And it was the conversations that came after our time together that actually broke the dream open. I was re-listening to his dream and saw that he specifically said that the skateboard was yellow. So I sent him a voice note and I said, here's what yellow can often mean. And it definitely went back to, again, especially in American culture, fear or being a yellow belly. And let me show you what he said about that.
The yellow, because yellow belly is more of an American phrase, it's not a UK phrase, but the fear isn't there. I don't really have fear as such, but it's more the fear of, it's not fear of failing, it's the fear of my life being meaningless, I suppose.
Now you can see it wasn't resonating. It didn't even match UK culture. And this is why you got to keep going back and forth. This is where most people get it wrong. They stop at the interpretation that fits, but it doesn't necessarily give you the aha moment. So we continued to pull at that thread back and forth. we finally got to this meaning. Another way that yellow can sometimes be represented in a dream is self-glory. Now, that actually sounds terrible to tell someone, like, I think this is about you loving yourself too much. But it broke the dream open, and here's why. The dream, when you look at now all the symbols together, the skateboard, that's his gifts, the rails. Listen to the metaphor there, falling off the rails. Have you heard that? I'm going to read to you the Google definition of what it means to fall off the rails, and all of this is then going to make sense to you. Have lost control of your behavior, emotions, or life, often acting in a way that is destructive, wild, or socially unacceptable. Now, when you pair that with yellow, which can be sometimes a self-glory, this dream became very, very clear. What it ended up being was a warning dream, which I guess I should understand from the beginning when he's falling off the skateboard and you have that feeling of like waking up out of the dream, that loss of control. It all clicked at that point. This was a warning dream, and this is the message I sent him. I think, Alex, that this is a warning dream for you, that as you continue to work in your gifts, this is clearly what you're meant to do. This is clear. This podcasting is your destiny. As you grow and get bigger and bigger, sometimes in our human nature, these little things slip in, and suddenly you begin to lose yourself, and you lose what you set out to do in the beginning, and you begin to make decisions based on, I don't know, how many views you get, or how popular that guest is, or what story is going to sell. And the dream is warning you that if you go that yellow path, if you take that skateboard of your gifts and you turn it yellow, that you're going to fall off the rails. And how many times have we seen that with celebrities, people that are very successful, just completely falling off the rails of their life and destroying everything that their talent had actually brought them into their best life with? Now, once I shared this with Alex, I knew it. I got it. I knew that he moved from this emotional, okay, yes, I can see where that works, into the yes, that resonates. And it wasn't just the words he used, it's the tone he used. I'm actually going to show you. I want you to hear how he responded to when I finally got to what I believe this dream was.
Yeah, that 100% resonates more. Really does. Yeah, really, really does. And luckily, I'm quite good at that because, like, I had a guy with massive views and I knew that my next guest wouldn't have the same amount of views. And I had to check in with myself and say, no, that's not why you're doing it, sort of thing.
Did you hear that difference? If you go back and you watch the first interpretation during our conversation on the podcast, and then you just listen to that audio recording of him, it resonated, it clicked. You could hear it in his tone of voice. And I point that out. And why this is important to you in your dreams and your dream language is you need to keep digging on your dreams until you sound like Alex. That's how important it is. And sometimes that can take days, and sometimes that can take minutes, and sometimes that can take years until you start to walk that out in your life. But don't settle for the regular meaning that kind of makes sense for a dream. You keep digging until it resonates deep in your soul. Here is the most important thing that I want you to understand. Dream interpretation is not about how fast you get to the answer. It is about uncovering what truth is hidden behind those symbols. That is what moves you towards your destiny. That truth is the gold that you're trying to mine out of your dream life. And oftentimes, that truth takes a lot more conversation than you'd think to get fully uncovered. You made it all the way through to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I love talking about dreams, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, hit the subscribe button because this channel is only here because of you. And if you want to dive deeper into your own dreams, I have a free community for that. See the link below.